to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. That music you just heard was none other than the Unholy Four and their mega fucking hit song, Dirty Knife. Check out the Unholy Four on YouTube, Spotify, Bandcamp, Apple Music, Instagram, wherever you can find the Unholy Four. I think I got them all that time.
Yeah, I think so.
It's only taken me 99 episodes to get that. Podcast specific promo code. We are in March. And as I mentioned, this is the 99th episode of overall. It's the 35th of this season, 99th overall. But for the podcast specific promo code for March, the promo code to get 15% off at OttsvilleRecordGarage.com is Move On, in honor of the Birmingham Six and our very busy March schedule playing Irish music. So there you go. Guys, he hasn't been here in a while, but here he is today, kind of freezing and unfreezing and doing his thing. But welcome back, my brother and co-host Adam, to the Country Podcast. What's up, dude?
Same shit, different day. What's today? Today is Sunday.
Today is in real world time.
In real world right now, mine and yours talking time. It's Sunday.
Yes,
but you guys this is being released on Thursdays, as usual. As of right now, I'm 2 days away from being 2 weeks smoke free.
There you go. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Well, there you go.
I was sick. I was super sick, and I was very feverish, and it was cold as shit. And I didn't feel like going outside and freezing to death to smoke a cigarette, so I just kind of stopped smoking for 3 days. And then when I got better, I just didn't pick up smoking again. So yeah, it'll be. I'm currently 12 days smoke free.
Well, fuck, man, good for you. Good for you with that. That's that'll be good. That'll save you some money too.
Yeah,
if you're able to kick it. So. Cool, man. Good for you. Well, congratulations on that. Let's give it up. Let's give it up for Adam for being at this point.
That's why I haven't been here. I've been battling cigarette withdrawal. I've just been. I was hot and cold at the same time. I needed more blankets and less blankets. It was crazy.
Yes, I can see that happening. He needs more blankets and less blankets. Yes, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, from one vice to the other, this is. We're here to talk about the Doors' debut album, The Doors, but more importantly, it is a booze and vinyl episode. Tom is not here. Again, as mentioned the last couple of weeks, we have some scheduling stuff we're trying to do. I may or may not have had a baby almost 2 months ago at this point. I don't know what I had, but there is a newborn baby upstairs.
Just bear with me, Paul. Keep talking. I'm going to try to switch some stuff around to get a better camera angle.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Just keep it down while you're doing it, jerk.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I may or may not have a new baby upstairs, and so we are recording ahead. What?
I said this is March. Hopefully, there's a new baby upstairs.
Yeah, I know, right? That is a worse camera angle. If that's okay, that one's better. You keep freezing, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right, so this is a booze and vinyl episode. Tom is not here. I am going to make one of the drinks. I don't believe Adam's having any of the drinks, which is okay.
No.
But we're going to go through that. And so Booze and Vinyl, this is for Booze and Vinyl Volume 1 by Andre Darlington and Tanaya Darlington. You can pick up a copy of
I'm sorry, Paul, is that best friend of the podcast, Andre Darlington?
Best fucking friend of the podcast, Andre Darlington.
BFFF.
Yes, and you could... No, it's just BFF, best fucking friend.
Best fucking friend.
Yeah, best fucking... Yeah. So you can pick up a copy of Booze and Vinyl 2, a Christmas Booze and Vinyl, a Booze and Vinyl game, and the upcoming, because I don't think it's been released yet as of March, the upcoming Booze and Vinyl country music new book that's coming out as well.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you can pick them up at andredarlington.com. You can go to his website and you can see where you can shop all of his books because he has more than just Booze and Vinyl books out there, and pick up those books. So the liner notes on this one here. The Doors were named after the Aldous Huxley book, Doors of Perception, in turn a line from a William Blake poem. Heady and dark stuff for a fresh rock and roll band from sunny LA. The group's debut album features a lead singer who looked like a Greek god crooning over a guitar and contains many of the band's best known songs. Light My Fire, Break On Through to the Other Side, and The End. Poetic yet hard-rocking, the album captures the primal feel of the group's live performances and stands as a complete album, not just a collection of songs. A psychedelic masterpiece in a minor key, it feels stoned while remaining clean and smartly trippy. Okay, there you go. Those are the liner notes on this guy. And
Yeah.
before you drop the needle, and I think this is actually pretty perfect. When I thought about when I read this earlier, and I thought about the drop the needle, I'm like, oh, this would be pretty perfect, and it would work out really well in my living room since I have a conversation pit. It says drape a scarf over your lampshade or plug in a lava lamp to set the mood. This is a great pillows on the floor kind of listen. So yeah, I can see that happening.
I honestly thought you were just going to be like throw a scarf over the lampshade, put your keys into a bowl.
You could do that too. You could that would probably fit in my living room as well. I have a
Yeah.
very very 1970s.
Paul, I mean this in the best way possible.
Uh-huh.
I've been in your living room quite a bit. It looks like a key party has happened in your living room.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was about to say. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there's been a key party or two in my not while me and Katie have owned the
Yeah,
house.
no,
I'm
not
sure.
yet. Once the baby,
Yeah, once the baby starts,
once the baby gets settled and everything, I'm
we'll
gonna come
see.
take the kids away for a weekend.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah. So there's two drinks here. We're only going to do the side A drink. We're not going to do the side B drinks, but I am going to talk about that real quick. It's called the Bijou.
Just out of curiosity, real quick, for a key party, do you put your house keys or your car keys, or does it matter?
Okay, so when I saw the movie, there was a movie with I believe it's Kevin Kline and I want to say Sigourney Weaver, but it might not be Sigourney Weaver. But I know it's Kevin Kline, Christina Ricci's in it. The dude who played Batman.
Which
What's his
Batman? There's
name?
been
The
like
first
18.
Batman, Tobey Maguire. He's in it.
Michael Keaton Batman, Paul?
What's that?
Batman or Spider-Man?
Oh, Spider-Man. I'm sorry, Spider-Man. I said Batman. Yeah. But at any rate, in that movie, I think it's called the Ice Storm or something like that. They do have a key party there, and they put in their car keys in that movie. So I'm assuming it's your car keys.
Is it the Big Chill?
No, it's not the Big Chill. That's a whole different thing. No,
What's
it's
the
called,
Big Chill?
I don't know, not that movie. So I don't know. You can look it up on your own. I believe it's called the Ice Storm. So it has Tobey Maguire, Christina Ricci, and a younger like teenage Christina Ricci. I believe it's Kevin Kline, and I'm pretty sure it's Sigourney Weaver, and it's set in the 70s. And yeah. So that's they put their car keys in for the key party there. So not their house keys, which I mean, maybe their house keys are on the same key ring. I don't know. I've never actually been to
Mine are separate. So
okay, there you go. Mine are, well, now we got like with the new cars, we got the key fobs, so like it's not actually, you know what I mean. So, all right, so the bijou or bayou
we digress.
is French for jewel, and the drink is so named because of its lustrous color. Properly, it's made with red sweet vermouth, but we like to use Bianca vermouth, aka sweet white vermouth, to achieve a stunning green color. While this isn't exactly correct, we think it's an improvement. Morrison's connection to French poetry is the stuff of legend. He's even buried at Père Lachaise Cemetery. I don't know if I said that right. In Paris, we honor him with perhaps the most stunning classic of classic French cocktails. So the bijou has a 1.5 ounces of gin, 3/4 ounce of Carteret, which is that like fancy bottle thing that you bought. I think we still would have some of that. An ounce of Bianco vermouth and 2 dashes of orange bitters. This is you stir the ingredients with ice and stir it into a chilled cocktail glass. That is not the drink we're making, but it sounds interesting. I think if I had everything for it, I probably would make that one.
Yeah.
But I don't. I don't have everything for that. But what we are going to make is a side A drink, which is called Whiskey Daisy. Oh wow, okay. I got to do this with an accent, I think. Oi, take us to the next whiskey bar. That's how it's spelled. So just so you know, this is a drink to sip while listening to the Doors cover Bertolt Burchett's drinking song from the Three Penny Opera, Alabama Song, which is the whiskey bar. Whiskey Daisy recipes are all over the map. Some call for triple sec or Grand Marnier, while others call for grenadine. Many dispense with soda in early recipes and end up with a sort of sour or a fizz or a who knows what. We make our own Franken Daisy thusly. Okay, so what we're gonna have here, and since Tom is not here, I'm going to do it. Tom just measures this shit out. I'm just gonna do it with my little measuring cup that tells me exact ounces, right? So here we go. I got my shaker here.
It's my handy dandy shot glass.
My handy shot glass, but it actually has all like the
It has your measurements on the
on
side.
it and whatnot. All right, so
I used to have a
First, it
pint
says,
glass that had that, and I broke it, and I was very upset.
yeah, it says 2 ounces of whiskey, and I'm using Pop McCann's Irish whiskey, which is a local Pennsylvania whiskey. And my boy Jason Fogg sells this, and I believe he brews it and all that kind of
Is
fun
that
stuff.
is that local?
That is local, yeah. Pop
Because
McCann's
you
local.
had that shit at your wedding, and it was delicious.
It is delicious. That's why I keep drinking it. It's awesome. This is not the same bottle that was at my wedding. I can tell you that much. So, because I went through that bottle, because I do like this. It's a very smooth, very easy drinking whiskey. Goes down real smooth there. All right, so and that's why I like it. And it's also very good. My favorite thing to do with this is actually, and we lost Adam. That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Sorry, hold on.
Okay. My favorite thing to do with this is actually mix it with ginger ale. So
I do enjoy a good. I do enjoy a whiskey and ginger.
yep. And now we need an ounce of fresh lemon juice. So I had a lemon, so I squeezed that out.
Oh,
So
while you're making this drink, let me tell you a fun whiskey ginger uh, little anecdote.
real quick, this
Uh,
is going to be actually a half ounce of lemon juice, since I was not able to get a full ounce out of the only lemon I had. But anyway, go on.
I I was at the bar. I was at a bar with the girlfriend,
Uh-huh.
and I forget what I was drinking. I was drinking like a Yingling or something
Oh,
or Guinness.
real quick before you get into that, this says Cointreau, or however you say it, which is basically triple sec. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
using here instead of spending more money for a fancy brand name. So, but anyway,
yeah.
go on. Drinking a
So yeah,
Yingling.
so I'm at the bar with the girlfriend, and I was drinking like a Guinness or a Yingling or whatever beer they had on tap. I can't remember. It's not important. But then I ordered a double Jameson and ginger,
Okay.
and like three stools over from us were these two, like, I don't know, probably like early to mid 30s women, like, hanging out.
Okay.
And the one saw my drink and got all excited and asked me if it was a Red Bull vodka.
Ha!
And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh, what is it? I'm like, it's Jameson and ginger ale. She's like, oh, no, thank you. She got all excited and was about to order herself a vodka Red Bull
There
until
you
she
go.
realized that I was drinking whiskey and ginger ale.
I don't think Jameson and Ginger looks like a vodka Red Bull at all. I think she was
No.
trying to come on to you. I think she was trying to get something going there.
She was like, me and my me
So
and my wife saw you from across the bar
yeah.
and thought you looked cool.
So I'm shaking this up over ice, and then I have my Collins glass with crushed ice, which is what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to now pour this into the Collins glass, like so. That's pretty. And then you top it off with some club soda. It says about an ounce, so I'm just going to bring it like kind of to the top there. Boom, there you go. Now, you're supposed to garnish this with orange slices and a sprig of mint, but I don't have orange slices or a sprig of mint, so I don't care. So here it is right here. It kind of looks like a Tom Collins a little bit,
That's
which is a
a, it's a.
gin-based, gin and lemon-based drink and whatnot. But here we go.
Have we,
This is the Whiskey Daisy. I'm going to tell you how it is in 1 second.
have we had a Tom Collins on the podcast? It sounds like something we would. It sounds like something that would come out of that book.
Well, we have a lot of Toms on the podcast, but we have never had a Tom Collins drink on the
Yeah.
podcast. This is fucking delicious.
Yeah. It
Mm-hmm.
looks very. It looks very summery.
It is. It's very summery.
It looks like if you had to drink all day, like a drink on the beach all day.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It goes down smooth. I don't know if it's because, like I said, the Pop McCann whiskey is generally a very smooth whiskey. So it's definitely the whiskey I go to when I'm like, if I'm going to mix it into a drink or something like that. I don't really sip whiskey, but I could sip with this whiskey. It works really well with everything else that's here. It's got a lemony taste to it. It's
I feel like
fucking
you've said on the
citrusy.
podcast before, you're not a big whiskey drinker.
I'm not. This is fucking delicious. This is 100% my book review on this recipe from Booze and Vinyl, Volume 1
That's
by
a book
Andre
review.
Darlington and
Repeat
Tanaya
book
Darlington.
review.
Book review. Do not sue us. Is an A plus 100%. I am going to keep drinking this. I have like water and stuff with me too, but this is perfect. And honestly, like I ended up with the half ounce of lemon juice instead of the full ounce, and I think that was actually probably to
Like
the
a good
good. I'm
call.
actually kind of glad.
More lemon would have overpowered it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because with this, like I also made simple syrup on my own for the first time, which is kind of cool because it needs simple syrup.
It's just sugar and water, isn't it?
Right. But I never did it before, and there's you know. So I made the simple syrup, and you get that sweetness. The sweetness comes through with the simple syrup. I think like the triple sec gives you that orange blast, and then like with it all mixed together, the whiskey, you get the tones of the whiskey, you get the tannins from the barrel, but like it's not overwhelming and it doesn't give you a crazy bite. And maybe that also comes down with it being washed down a little bit with the club soda. But
Yeah.
it's like, man, this is a good drink, and I did a good job on this one. I'm proud of this one.
I'm sure Tom will rip you apart in a text message when this comes out.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so to on to what we are here to actually talk about.
Yeah.
The Doors. This is your 10th album, Adam.
Yeah.
It's your last album. This is your last shot at the Big D.
It's not getting there.
You never know. You never know. I got the numbers here. You never know.
Yeah, I do know.
All right, so give us some fucking factoids.
All right, so as Paul mentioned, this was the Doors' debut self-titled album, released on January 4th, 1967. Coming up in mine and Paul's time, not release time, mine and Paul's time, the anniversary of this album release is coming up. Because what in Paul, in mine and yours time, what day is it? Is it the 29th?
Of what? Of the month we're in?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Yeah, the 29th. We're back in January in real person time.
No, we're back. No, we're back in December in real person time.
Oh yeah, it's December. Sorry. My
Yeah.
dates are all fucked up.
We're in that weird period of time between Christmas and New Year's where no one knows what day it is, and it's just a blur.
You're breaking up there, sir.
Hey, fuck you. Did you get that? Did that come? Did
Nope,
that come?
didn't get anything.
No, yeah, I said fuck you.
Yeah, okay.
You good?
Yeah.
I'm dying. So yeah, released January 4th, 1967. Recorded at Sunset Sound in Hollywood released on Elektra, and was produced by Paul A. Rothchild, who, as I was reading, apparently most notably produced like a bunch of Doors albums,
Okay.
amongst other stuff. I think I remember reading Crosby, Stills and Nash, Janis Joplin, a whole bunch of other stuff of that era, I guess you would say. This album has, as of, I love how on Wikipedia it tells me like how many albums has been sold since 2015. It was almost
Yeah.
10 years. It was almost 10 years. It was 10 years ago. So as of 10 years ago, this album has sold 13 million copies.
Shoo. Wow.
So that's a fuck ton. Which this actually is the best-selling Doors album. In 2003 and 2012, this album was listed as number 42 on the Rolling Stones Top 500. And then in 2020, it was repositioned to number 86 on the Top 500. So all three years that the list was out, within the top 100. So good on your Doors.
Yeah.
In 2015, the Library of Congress selected it to be included in the National Recording Registry for, quote, being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
Okay, we've had a few of them. Specifically this season, we've had a few of those records.
Did you just see that?
See what?
I did. I was doing bunny rabbit ears, and then balloons just went. Did you do the balloons?
No, I didn't. I didn't do anything,
dude. I hope that comes through because I just saw balloons come up on my screen.
Well, you were frozen, so I don't know. I don't know. You're frozen again.
That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So like I said, best-selling Doors album. This is the best-selling Doors album. 13 million copies, and been listed a bunch of times on the top 500 of Rolling Stones. And the album was deemed important enough to be included by the Library of Congress.
Nice.
Which I can't remember what other album of mine I've had to read that culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant quote from.
Willie Nelson, Stardust.
Was it
That
Stardust?
was one of them. Yeah, Stardust was on there. De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising ended up on there, and there was another album from this season. Might have been Run DMC.
Was it Run DMC? Because I
Yeah.
want to say Blonde on Blonde was also.
I think that might have ended up in there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might have been, yeah. So, but we've had like this is the third album of that so far of that designation on the of this
Yeah.
season. So.
So yeah, so we're covering the heavy hitters. But yeah, so that's really if there's so many lists. Like if you look through, there's so many lists that this album has been included in the best of all time or the best of whatever, best of the decade that it came out, best of the year that it came out, best of the genre, best of whatever.
Mhm.
There's too many fucking. We'd be here for 12 hours if I was sitting here listing all the different fucking lists that this album pops up on. But it's on a lot, so I figured I would just go with the important ones.
Yeah.
Library
No, it's
Congress
cool.
and Rolling Stone.
Yep.
um, you just moved, and I can see how fucked up my album is in the background.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Which is
it's got
weird because
some watered
the
down.
only explanation for this album being so fucked up is because alphabetically it would have been higher on the shelf. The only explanation is when you fucked with my records, you moved that lower, and it got then was affected by the flood.
It's completely possible. I can see
Yeah,
that.
I had something else that was like that too. You know, like there's no reason why this album should be fucked up because it starts with an A or something like that.
Yep. You're welcome.
Doesn't matter. We still go by very good. Fuck you.
That's right. That's right. Either way.
Um, so yeah, as Paul mentioned, this is my album. If I'm
Hmm.
not mistaken, I bought this copy at a Hot Topic.
Okay,
I
that
feel
makes
like
sense.
I feel like I bought this at a Hot Topic. And you know, always been a fan of the Doors. I was actually listening to the album this morning. I was making pancakes and bacon and pancakes. Um, and the general consensus apparently in my house is that no one besides me likes the Doors.
Really?
Yeah, my mom was sitting across the kitchen at the table from me, and she stated that every song sounds the same.
No, not
No,
on
and
this album.
that's what I said. I was like, if you want an album that everything sounds the same, go listen to Ramones, where
Yeah.
everything is
Yep.
um, Zach, friend of the podcast, Zach apparently is also not a fan of the Doors. Which I can agree with them to a degree. He was saying that Jim Morrison comes off as very pretentious, which he does. I think so.
All right. So if you want to go by Jim Morrison on today's standards, yes, absolutely. Like if you put Jim Morrison in 2025 and say, is this dude pretentious? Absolutely. I don't think he's pretentious by 1967 standards. You know what I mean?
I think in 1967 standards, he's just goofy. You know.
He's just goofy and he's a poet and you know what I mean? He's an artist. He's maybe a little eccentric. I think he's probably looked at more like that. I don't know that he necessarily comes off pretentious by 1967 terms. By 2025 terms, yeah, absolutely. Although I'm surprised Zach was even awake to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Um, but yeah, I said he may have been pretentious. He may have been pretentious, but he made good music. And Zach said, no, he wrote bad poetry. The rest of the band made good music.
So I don't agree with that either. I mean, why does Zach even have an opinion? Fuck Zach.
Yeah.
No, his poetry's good. Again, for you got to look at what it's from. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like um, one of the things I will say, like just about the album in general, is like musically, it's kind of like all over the place, and you know what I mean, and a lot of it's just kind of like it's like musically all over the place with basically spoken word poetry presented with meaning and conviction. You know what I mean? That is the one thing I'll say about his style of singing, his the lyrics that he writes is that I mean he's definitely 100% committed to what he's singing and how he's singing it and
Yeah.
what he wrote there. You know what I mean? It's not just like I'm just going to write a song, whether or not you get it or you understand the meaning or you care about the meaning. Or you think it's weird or whatever, he's definitely 100% committed to whatever he's trying to portray there. So,
Yeah.
I definitely from an artist standpoint, I can't fucking knock the guy,
And just before we go any further, just as a since you're the one drinking, as a blanket cheers, how many of the Doors do we have any remaining alive Doors members?
I believe so.
I want to say I forget the drummer's name, but I want to say the drummer and Maybe
John
just
Densmore and apparently Robbie Krieger are both the guitarists. The drummer and the
yeah.
guitarist are still
I
alive.
say
Yeah.
I know Jim Morrison's dead because we just mentioned where he was buried.
Yep.
I know
Yep. Jim Morrison,
Ray Manzarek died.
2013
Yeah, I
Ray
say like
Manzarek.
10 years ago at this point.
Yep. Yep.
So
So there you go. There you go. So yeah. So
I
according
was
to,
go
well, wait
ahead.
a minute. I thought maybe no. I guess not. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Krieger and Densmore are still alive according to the Google machine.
According
So
to the Googles.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I had a teacher, an instrumental teacher in high school, who once argued with me that the Doors was the only thing that made the Doors was Ray Manzarek.
No, no. Ray Manzarek is great musician. You know what I mean? It was a different. It was, man. No, see, I don't think you can say that. I don't think that's a fair statement because the Doors are almost one of those bands similar to Led Zeppelin in the sense that you have like so many different things, like different combinations of people doing what they do that just happen to make great music. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's always one of my issues with Led Zeppelin, and I talked about it on the Led Zeppelin episode where you have these four amazing musicians who got together and are the only people who can do what they did. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Because it's like it's just on their own. They you know what I mean? They couldn't do it with other bands or other people or other things like that. This is like one of those like time and space type of things where like everything is in the right time, right place, right people
yeah,
doing what they do and putting it all together. So I don't think there's any one member of this band, even though like people like look to Jim Morrison and the Doors and stuff like that. I don't think there's any one member of this band that makes the band greater or lesser than the other. I think you have to have all four of them
yeah.
doing exactly what they did to make what the Doors did. I mean, they tried to go out.
You have to have Val Kilmer.
Yeah, exactly. Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer. Is he dead yet? He's not dead yet. As the time we're
uh,
recording this, he's not dead yet. He's very
yeah,
sick.
I know.
He's
Yeah,
not.
I don't think. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, man. You got to well, listen. When you have the Iceman in your band, what are you going to do?
exactly.
Which is funny because one of the reasons I actually discovered the Doors when I was 14 years old was mainly because of the Doors movie. The Oliver Stone Doors movie was coming out, and I was
Yeah,
familiar with that they were a band and that there were songs, but I didn't know who the Doors were. I didn't
yeah.
get into the Doors. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't really listen to them. I knew Break On Through, and I knew Light My Fire, which as a kid we used to change the words to Bite My Wire. Get it? Wire, bite my wire, dick. Like, yeah, come
Now,
on, baby, bite my wire.
did you say that because of the movie?
No, no, we used to just do that.
Oh, because there's a part in the movie when they're playing like Ed Sullivan, and they asked them to change the lyrics to "Light My Fire" to the "Girl We Couldn't Get Much Higher."
Yeah,
They said they were trying to get them to change that lyric for television, and in the movie, the guy's like, "How about we change it to like, girl, we couldn't get much better." And then Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison goes like, "How about we go, baby, you can bite my wire."
yeah, no, no. Yeah, no, no, no. We didn't get it, because I'm talking like little kids. Like as little kids, we're running around whistling home and be like, "You can bite my wire instead of light my fire." You know what I mean? So, yeah,
You little hood rats.
yes, we were little hood rats. We were drinking hood rat juleps and stuff like that. It was great.
Oh, dude, I forgot about the hood rat
Yeah,
the hood rat julep.
but when the movie was coming out, that's when I actually took the time to really like listen to the Doors and get into the Doors. And I mean, like I was blown away. I was blown away at 14 years old, like probably similar to how I imagine people were blown away by this album when it came out in 1967.
Yeah,
Um, I at that point it was like nothing I had ever heard. And even at 14, I was fairly musically diverse, and I never really, like I said, I knew the two hits. Like even though the end is one of the hits, I wasn't even really familiar with the end, but just like listening to this album and then the rest of the catalog, there was no other band of the time or ever since like the Doors. And
yeah,
I know there's bands that are similar. I know there's the whole psychedelic sound and whatnot, which is where they come from with the California sound. And there were influences of blues and stuff like that on this album and their sound in general. But the four of them to put it together the way they did, to have the organ, to decide not to do a bass guitar, and you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
just and it was just it was so full and good and refreshing, even, and by 1991 standards for me. What was that? What would that have been, like 20 some odd years after the album actually came out?
Yeah.
Almost 30 years after the album came out. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, and I just said I don't think anybody has ever replicated the sound or the style. And this band, with the way, especially when you look at rock music from the 60s in general, this band shouldn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just shouldn't work, and they do. And one of the best bands of the times, and probably definitely one of the best albums in my opinion ever written.
Rolling Stone and the Library of Congress agree.
I know, and so does the Country Hipster podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously you got the blues influences there, which are great. They even do a couple blues covers on there. Unlike Led Zeppelin, they give credit to the blues people they were covering there, instead
Mm.
of trying to say it was their own. um they created a new rock sound with, Break On Through, Light My Fire in the End, like the hits, like that was generally those are the songs where I would say those are off of this album are the Doors. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? With a couple extra, a couple others too, that like really define the sound of what the Doors are. And but you also feel that like late 60s California pop sound, San Francisco, LA, flower child movement, when you listen to I Looked at You, and Take It As It Comes. It's all over the place. It works so well, and it's just like it's a unique album that, in my opinion, has definitely, it stood the test of time.
Yeah.
So why did you buy this album though?
I bought this album specifically because I had discovered the Doors. Um, I discovered the Doors through our dad.
Okay.
Him just randomly playing the Doors, and then shortly after, actually seeing our brother Zach is a very big Oliver Stone fan. So very shortly after discovering them, like Paul, I then saw the movie, saw Meg Ryan's tits, and I was like,
There you go.
"We got to listen." No, just yeah, I've kind of listened to them, and like you said, was just kind of like blown away, and kind of almost instantly fell in love with that sound.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I remember this. I think it was kind of like early on in my. I want to say it may have been early on in my like collecting vinyl. Like when I really started getting into collecting vinyl, I saw it and I went, "Oh, I don't have that album. I
Mm-hmm.
love that album. I love this. I love a bunch of the songs on that album." Um, at that point, I think my main exposure to the Doors was like the Essentials,
Uh-huh.
which like I feel like half this fucking album is on the Essentials.
Probably, yeah. Yep.
Um, so I was like, oh,
Like,
I don't
and
own
so
that. I want it, so I bought it.
just to touch on that real quick, like of the six albums, the basically I say the six albums, they tried to do a few albums after Morrison had died, which just they didn't work. Which is, so I think they have a total of like 9 studio albums. Of the 6 albums, this is, in my opinion, their best album.
Mm,
And this is the one that you go back to every time. I have a really shitty copy of this in my collection, my personal collection. So this is one of those albums I've never actually bought for myself. I probably should buy myself like a nice new, brand new factory sealed version of it,
mm,
because they are available. But like this is one of those albums where every time it's in a pickup of used vinyl I pick up, I'm always listening to it for resale value, and also because I want to hear it.
yeah,
Um, but like I never like the copies I get are usually because like they end up skipping or something like that. So
yeah,
like I was like, all right, cool. I don't think I've ever gotten a really good clean version of this album, a used version of this album. But I like it. I definitely like it, and I think it's probably something I need to like go back and like just order for myself when I'm placing an order and get it in, or try to find one of like the really really nice like acoustic sounds 200 gram 45 rpm versions of this, and probably pay $300 for it to have it in my collection. But
no,
That might have to happen. I don't know. I don't know. Depends. We'll see how things go. We'll see how tight the budget gets after, as things progress with the new baby.
Yeah. There was debate between this and I also own a copy of Morrison Hotel,
Okay.
which I purchased through the Ottsville Record Garage.
Did you?
I did, yeah,
Oh, okay. I don't even
yeah,
remember that.
yeah. My copy of Morrison Hotel I got from you. And if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken, you sent me when you sent me the copy of Morrison Hotel, you also sent me a copy of the Knack.
Oh yeah.
You sent me a copy of the Knack, and then you realized like 3 months down the line, like you had
I
it
never took it
listed
out of
still,
inventory.
and someone bought it, and you're like, "Oh shit! I gave that one copy that I had to Adam, so I had to give it back
Yeah.
to you." Which
I
is
was an
fine
Indian.
because I wanted the Morrison Hotel. I think I even posted about it on Instagram saying how like you order what you get what you want, and you also find out something that you need too. So or some bullshit
Yeah.
like that. Can't
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
That,
So I was debating on that because my favorite Doors song is on Morrison Hotel, but I figured this was more of a crowd pleaser album.
okay. What is your favorite Doors song?
Peace Frog.
What is it?
Peace Frog.
I'm not familiar with this. It's probably one of those songs I've heard, but I'm not familiar with the title.
You
I'm
would
really
know the
bad with
guitar
names.
riff. The guitar was like,
Yeah, no, that doesn't
but
help.
in the streets of the
Oh,
mango.
that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. All right. Now that is a good song.
Is it possible to sing the Doors without doing a Jim Morrison impression?
I don't think it is. I don't think it is
Yeah.
because it's that iconic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, how do you
You
sing
talk
without doing
you
the Jim
talk
Morrison?
about it's physically impossible to retell a Mitch Hedberg joke without doing a Mitch Hedberg impression. You know
Who's
who
Mitch
Mitch
Hedberg?
Hedberg is?
Nope.
Oh, you should watch. Listen, Mitch Hedberg was a very, very funny comedian who died very young, and he had a very like one-liner kind of style to him.
Okay.
Um,
Very Stephen
basically, like
Wright like.
always, huh?
Very Stephen Wright like.
Yeah, kind of like a more Stone Stephen Wright, if you will.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Um, but yeah, he died very young, but he has this very particular uh, cadence and tone to his voice that like whenever you say one of his jokes, you kind of just naturally do an impression of him
Okay.
because it kind of makes it better. Um, but yeah, to go back to why I bought this album. Fan of the Doors, saw the album. I remember when I originally stole Dad and my mom's records. I was like, "Oh yeah, do you guys have any Zeppelin and Doors and stuff like that?" And Dad
Yeah.
goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, that's all down there." No, there was a copy of Sergeant Pepper's, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
I am kind of surprised the Doors wouldn't be in there. So I don't know if he just got rid of it or something because the Doors are definitely a fan that a band that I think the Skipper would definitely appreciate. Which Skipper? There you go, Skipper.
Skipper.
Yeah. So yeah, no, he probably did at one point own a copy of it and probably
Yeah.
just got rid of it or threw it out or lost it or something like that, or maybe
Yeah.
Michael stole it.
Yeah, say by the time I got his records, it was two copies of every studio Simon and Garfunkel album, just about every George Carlin, and yeah, Sergeant Pepper's.
You spend some time like fixing your camera angle and then you keep going off off your
Yeah, I
camera.
know. There's really no. I'm not liking the way that it's working
Okay.
because like I keep scrunching down too because like it's weird that you can like see my eyebrows and that's it. It's fucking weird. Um, so half the time I'm just like, hey guys,
Oh Jesus Christ.
what's
Uh,
happening? But yeah,
yeah, yeah. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, no, definitely a good album. Definitely a good pick.
I was
Definitely better than some of the other shit you've been picking.
I'll say honestly, I was kind of surprised. This because for some reason, I thought the Doors would be one of those bands that like everybody loves that you hate.
No, 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 no. I love the Doors, man. I've always loved the Doors.
Like I thought this would fall into like a Zeppelin and Beatles for
No,
you. Like
no, no. I mean, because I love the Rolling Stones. You know what I mean? I love the Who. I love, I love the Doors. You know what I mean? No, this is definitely a band. My favorite Doors song that to take it back a second, it's probably "Touch Me." which I forget what
Yeah.
album that's on, but like I fucking love that. I love that song. It's just like, man, it sounds like with the
L.A.
you know what I mean?
I don't L.A. Woman.
It might be on LA Woman.
I
I
can't
think it
fucking
was
remember.
definitely a later one.
Yeah.
And you know, I also felt like I'm also a big Lenny Kravitz fan, and I feel like when you listen to Lenny
Are you?
Kravitz, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, all right. So I'm a big Mama Said fan, and
Okay.
I do I like Lenny Kravitz in general, but the only album I own now is Mama Said. Um, but
Is that the one with American Woman on it?
no, it's not. It's earlier. There's one with Mama Said on it.
Yeah.
Um, I forget what else is on it, but oh, Are You Gonna Go My Ways on that? No, that's the next. I forget what's on it. At any rate,
Lenny
it's
Kravitz.
an album that I know Slash plays on the album as well, like the opening song on the album. Slash does like some guitar on it, which I can't think of the name of it. But like
November Rain.
that's no, that album is very, in my opinion, very Doors-esque to the point where It Ain't Over Till It's Over is on that album.
Mm.
And when they did the video of it, it was very similar to um, a Doors, like when they did like a television appearance or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very much a crossover there. So I'm sure that's probably where I'm getting, but definitely that album by Lenny Kravitz reminds me of the Doors in general, and you know, I do like that album, and I like the Doors overall. I like the Doors, like I said, up to and including L.A. Woman. I don't really get into the other stuff, and ultimately, I do have a copy of Greatest Hits on vinyl, which
Yeah.
you can't go wrong with.
Yeah.
So,
I just thought of something really funny. Actually, one of my first exposures to the Doors was the Dead Milkmen.
oh yeah,
I remember Paul turning me on to the Dead Milkmen and having a copy of Death Rides a Pale Cow, and they do a Doors show.
yeah. What's it called?
The Sandbar.
Yeah, in fucking Bitch and Camaro, in the intro to
Yeah,
Bitch and Camaro on the original version of it. You know, when they're doing the monologue or the dialogue back and forth, he talks about they do a great Jim Morrison impression. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, no, that's
From the class today.
yeah, nice,
Yeah.
cool,
So Paul,
yeah,
I like this album.
uh
News to me, surprising to me, you like this album.
huh. Okay.
But what does that sweet baby angel think of this album?
So Regina, when I put this on, she was singing along and overall enjoyed it. So she definitely
Nice.
likes this album.
Nice.
She was into it, clapping and singing and whatnot, especially like with Break On Through. She was very much into Break On Through and like kind of following up the beat like rhythmically with the, you know, the da 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 da, you know, stuff like that. So it was kind of cool. But no, she definitely likes this album. So your final tally on the Regina factor is 7 likes, 2 dislikes, and 1 indifferent. I with my albums being done, I am 8 likes, 1 dislike, and 1 indifferent. So I got a game up on you.
Yeah.
The listeners are not even in the fucking realm of trying to get Regina's affection with 5 likes, 2 dislikes, and 3 indifference. Tom could snatch it up though. Tom could snatch it up. He's at 7 likes and 2 indifference. So as long as he doesn't get a dislike on the final album, which, not to give away next week's episode, is a one of Tom's albums, we will find out.
Yeah.
You know, so he could snatch away the affection of my beautiful young daughter from me. So, what are your top?
Can we not word it like that? That just
Yeah,
sounds
right.
weird.
There you go. Yes. Can we what are your top 3 on this?
Top 3, I'm going Break On Through, Alabama Song, and The End.
Okay, all right.
So
So
I'm going first, middle, last.
yeah, so I'm you know, I'm more of a deep track fan of this album.
Mhm.
I'll say I have Break On Through as an honorable mention because it is a great it's a great way to open an album. And you
Yeah.
know, when you hear the bass in the beginning, the do, like, you know exactly what it
Yeah.
is. So it does get my honorable mention there. But my 3 favorites on this album are 20th Century Fox, Take It As It Comes, and Soul Kitchen.
20th Century Fox would probably be an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, I just, and I don't mind the hits, but like I also feel as if the hits are kind of like a little bit overplayed,
Yeah.
I don't need to hear the end again, which is funny because that was the other thing that kind of goes back to this. And I don't know if it's on your top or bottom or your bottom or not, but I'll just talk about the end real quick. And like, so Katie's brother, apparently back in the day, well before Katie was born, because she has there's a big separation, like same with Regina in my season one. There's a big separation between Katie's siblings and then Katie.
Hmm.
um, so her one brother at one point wrote down the lyrics to the end, like just wrote it down, like listened and had it in his room. And her mom and their dad, I don't know which one, found them and were
Yeah.
like, "What the hell is this? What is wrong with our You know what I mean?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"It's a song. It's not no." They're like, "What? What do you want? You want to
it's
kill us? What? You know what I mean?"
it's
It's like,
Jim Morrison, Mom.
yeah, exactly. So
It's not a
which is kind of
phase, Mom. It's a lifestyle.
yeah, right. Which is kind of one of those things too. When you think of like back to this album, specifically the end, nobody in the mainstream commercial music was saying fuck in a song or even implying fuck. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that wasn't like anything that happened back then. It was almost like just that alone was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, no, it's just I don't mind the hits. I just at this point they're overplayed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But what is your least favorite?
For my least favorite, I looked at you.
Okay, all right, I could kind of see that. Yeah.
I looked
Um
at you.
uh
I looked at you. Sounds like the Doors were like, we need to write a Beatles song.
yeah, it's definitely more of like the 60s mod type of, you know what I mean? Almost like Beatles, Mamas and the Papas
Yeah.
type of thing going on there. So I definitely I could see what you're saying. I actually have a dislike and then two dishonorable mentions on this.
Oh.
Um Believe it or not, even though like overall, like of 12 tracks, I've three that I don't particularly care for. But it's just, so I'll just say my least favorite is the Alabama song Whiskey Bar. I just don't like it. It's
Yeah.
like skip it every time. My two dishonorable mentions I have on here because ultimately I think they're almost the same fucking song. Um it's Crystal Ship and End of the Night. They at least have the same type of feel to it.
Yeah.
Um
Could see
that
that.
slower, broken down, more, it's not neither one of them is just a flowing song. And I just don't think you needed both of those on this album. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So not that I necessarily I don't dislike them as much as I dislike Alabama song, but I just, it's just kind of like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why they both get my dishonorable mention there. So all right. Are you
I
ready? Are you ready to find out
I
your
mean,
final? What's up?
no, because I was gonna say I almost put "Light My Fire" as a dishonorable mention.
So
Dude.
I thought about that only because of the overplayed, the amount
Yeah.
of how much it's overplayed. It could kind of be like a dishonorable mention type of thing. But that's the thing. Do I not gravitate to it because of how much I've heard it, or do I really, not like it? I just think the three songs I mentioned definitely are songs that I would skip, whereas I might not skip Light My Fire. Like I will skip Light My Fire because I've heard Light My Fire a million times. I'll skip the end because I don't feel like sitting there for an 11-minute song at the
Well.
end of the album. You know what I mean? I just want to move on to something else. Um, those three songs I will skip because I don't particularly care for them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I almost added "Light My Fire" as a just honorable mention because there's this weird thing that happens like every time I listen to "Light My Fire," where the song will start. I'll be like, "Oh yeah, fucking, come on, baby, light my fire,"
Uh-huh.
and then there's just a 4 year long musical break
Uh-huh. Yeah.
about this long. This is
Uh-huh.
about 4 years time span, and I start doing something at the beginning of the musical break, and then about 3/4 of the way through the musical break, I realize that the musical break is still going on, and I'm like, "Fuck, is Light My Fire still fucking playing?"
Yeah. I
I
think
made
there's
like 4 batches
actually
of pancakes this morning
yeah.
while Light My Fire was playing.
I think there's actually versions of I don't think it ever happened on vinyl, but I think there's versions of like the cassette and probably almost definitely the 8 track where it actually cuts off in the middle
Yeah,
of this thing and then picks up on you. Like I think there's cassette versions of this where Light My Fire, like the middle of the song, it cuts off and then picks up on side B.
that's ridiculous.
And then of course the radio version, they cut out like almost the
Yeah.
whole instrumental part. But I actually do like the instrumental part.
Oh,
That's
no,
kind
don't
of
get me wrong. It's a good instrumental. It's just that every time it comes on, I'm like, fuck, man, this song
yep.
is still fucking on.
Yep. And I also think it also that solo in particular kind of speaks to the greatness of the Doors, because that's you when you think of rock music in general, that should be a 4 or 5 minute long guitar solo. It's
Mm,
not. It's like
yeah.
a 4 minute long fucking organ solo.
Yeah.
And not like fucking boring church organs, man. It's like rock organ that's like
Yeah.
it's all over the place. So it's really good. I think that's one of the things, like I said, that kind of speaks to the greatness of the Doors and why this band of misfits got together and it just works.
Yeah.
So, all right, so let me grab your copy. All right. Which yeah, it does look like it has a little water damage there. Maybe something got stuck to that. I might
Yeah.
have moved this down to the bottom. So you got a pretty copy though. The vinyl actually looks really good on this. So what you have, and it's funny because it took me a few minutes to find this, because the etchings on this are different than the etchings of the original versions of this.
Mm.
The reason being is that you have a 2009 Rhino Records 180 gram vinyl US pressing. It's a reissue. It's a remastered reissue
Yeah.
pressing. So the etchings are actually different, whereas the etchings on basically all of the originals and early repressings up to this start with like I think they actually have the catalog number in the etchings, which is like EKS-74007, and then whatever little things to tell you which specific pressing that it would be.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is completely different because the main etchings are RHH, so which would be Rhino Records, whatnot. So that it took me a few minutes. I was on Discogs and I'm going through, and I probably went through a couple hundred different versions of this before I was finally like, fuck it, let me just put the etchings in on Google. And that's where I was able to find that you
Yeah.
have a 2009 US pressing 180 gram reissue. So it's a very, very nice copy. And Rhino Records in general do good stuff. They also do the whole Start Your Ear Off, right, which in January they'll have like a bunch of special pressings of stuff that come out. We usually have some of them. I don't put them all on OttsvilleRecordGarage.com because they're just not that interesting.
Mm.
Some of them are just stupid, but there's some cool stuff. I think like I have a Ramones that's the Start Your Ear Off, right. I think I have my Aha and my Madonna, like a Virgin on Virgin White vinyl. I think that was also from Start Your Ear Off, right? So I got some B-52s, which are kind of cool. So some of them are cool, some of them are not. Some of them are just lame or just like kind of they do the same thing over and over again. The cars always end up in that little
Yeah.
Start Your Ear Off, right stuff. But no, this is Rhino Records generally does really good pressings, really good titles. So that's what this is. It's 2009 Rhino Records 180 gram vinyl pressing, which made sense when you're like, I'm pretty sure I got this at Hot Topic. It definitely made sense. I was like, okay, yeah, nope, that makes sense. So very good plus value on this would be $23.69, bringing you to $24 on this. Adam, are you ready for your running total for the
Totally.
whole season? Just so you know, I'm just going to tell you now, you are in fourth place in the competition of the Big D at $546. You are minus $277 to my $823.
Yeah.
The listeners are at $585. And now here's the one. This is I'm a little worried. I'm not overly worried because we only have one album left. But we got Tom, who right now is going to be at the worst second place at $610 with one album to go. So it'd be a big jump. For
Yeah.
me to have to like really jump in there to take me out. But it's not undoable. Like it is
I mean,
reasonable to do it.
we had a big jump with Fun this
Yes.
season, and then we had another big jump with Counting Crows.
Yes.
So we've already had two. So lightning has struck twice this season already.
It has. It has. It could strike again.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the thing that kind of has hurt Tom is some of his, because of the way we're doing it with him, is the averages, because some of his like records, like the Guns N' Roses, the one value of one of the records that we got the average for was way fucking up there. Actually, two of them were way fucking up there. Even, on the Who, he had one that was like way up there and like some that were down. But so in a way, I mean, Tom might be able to call bullshit, but at the same token, if these were in Tom's collection, we would be going off of what specifically was in his collection.
Yeah.
So, so he gets the best of he gets the good and the bad. You take them both, and then you have the facts of life.
Yeah.
So let me go grab the box of Michael so we can reveal to our audience. We already know what it is. What our 100th episode is going to be. Can you believe we're at 100 fucking episodes already?
It's ridiculous that people have listened to 99 episodes of us talking shit and mispronouncing words and
yes. All right, so I'm gonna do it real quick. I'll just show you. There's only one envelope. Where is it? You can't even see it. It's off to the side. There's only one envelope left.
Under Michael Stripe.
Under Michael Stripe. And here it is. So we already know it's a Booze and Vinyl because it's Tom's last album. This is not a Booze and Vinyl. Like this one is a Booze and Vinyl, so he gets the credit for the Doors because of how we do it for Tom. But this is a straight Tom one here. I am so fucking excited to be talking about this man's fucking album next week. Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice. Wait, no, it's not Gin and Juice. It's fucking Doggy Style.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wrote Gin and Juice down. Probably because that's the drink we're going to do from
You were just so excited.
I probably was. I seriously wrote down Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice. That's fucking stupid. Although unless it's a different album. Hold on, let's check.
You wrote down Beastie Boys, Ill Communication.
Yeah, I know. No, it is Doggy Style, and I don't know why I wrote down Gin and Juice, but this is my copy of Doggy Style right here. This is not Tom's copy, and I am so excited because we have Snoop. He's been looking over us of this whole 99 episodes. He's going to be a big part of the 100th episode. If I've worked the phones correctly, Snoop Dogg will not be on next week's episode. So,
I like the idea that you had to work the phones to make sure he didn't show up.
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, I'm going to be there." We're like, "Snoop, we can't have that."
Yes, exactly. No, Snoop, come on, man, let's go. So, yes. So next week's 100th episode, it's going to be a very special one. Adam, you will we're bringing everybody back into the actual record drop.
Bringing everybody in.
Everybody's in. So Adam, you will be there next week. I will obviously be here because I live here. We're going to have Tom come in to make the drinks. We're having Kristen, our resident female, come in, and we're even having our Gen Z prospector, Megan, come in because it is our 100th episode, which is number one. Thank you everybody for even getting us this far, and for continuing to do this. So it'll be a lot of fun. We'll get the final tally on the Big D. We'll close the season. We'll have Snoop Dogg. It's gonna be a good one, man. Now we just got to decide: do we go formal wear? Do we go pimp wear? Do we go dress like old people? Because it's like the 100th episode. Kind of like the 100th day of school where the kids dress up like old people.
I mean, in all fairness, why don't we just do all three? Why don't we do aging formal pimps?
Aging formal pimps?
Yeah.
Wow. That's actually pretty fucking that's a fantastic idea. I don't know how we would do that though. We're gonna have to figure that out. We have a week to figure it out, so we'll have to figure out how to do it.
I got one word for you, Paul.
What?
Suspenders.
There you go. Let me go get some suspenders. All right. Adam, do you have anything else to say about this album?
Same as I always say, listen to it and form your own opinions, guys.
All right. I think I am done. I am looking forward to the 100th episode. I've missed you the last few weeks, buddy. You haven't been on. I know it's my fault because I have to keep moving forward with everything, but I've missed you.
I missed you too. It's also my fault because I keep sleeping in when I don't mean to.
It's all good, man. I know
I keep not waking up to my alarms. Paul and I have been supposed to recording episodes.
Yes.
And it just so happens that I have really shitty nights at work the night before.
It is all good. It is all good. But yeah, man, next week, 100th episode. So please tune in for that. It'll be a good time. We're gonna have a lot of fun talking Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. Man, I am looking forward to this. and I'll have to make sure he gets my. Oh wow, this is digitally remastered. My copy's digitally remastered. Look at that, digitally
I'm
remastered.
tall. I digitally
So
remaster my
I can tell
Sleepwalk
it's
albums.
180 gram. I know it's a reissue. But at any rate, I'm fucking babbling.
Nah.
We're good. We got nothing else.
Nope.
All right. On that note, it is time to.